And that's blocked by Turner. Shot clock down to 4. Halliburton a deep 3, and he drills it.
Arians finds Warren. Here's a long 3.
Was in, now Duarte, another 3.
And welcome everybody to episode 8 of the Pacing Forward podcast. I know this episode's coming out on a Tuesday, so apologies for the delay, but we had a couple prior things to do, with the school and work and whatnot, and of course with the fasting and everything, kind of messing up our schedule, but that's neither here nor there. Welcome again to the Pacing Forward podcast. My name is Cammy, the house that Cammy built, and I'm joined by my co-host.
It's Dom. What's up, everybody?
Yes. And not that much. Well, one thing did happen with the Pacers, which we're pretty pissed off with. But let's just get to the playoffs. Go ahead, Dom.
Yeah. So off season just started. So
sadly,
we can't be reporting on Pacers basketball anymore. No more Pacer games for the near future, at least till around when does the NBA season start? Like December?
Around October.
Not December, like October, yeah.
Yeah, October,
so,
November.
Won't be a lot of Pacer basketball for a little bit. Not even going to be an off season for a little bit because of the playoffs. But first thing that did happen to the Pacers this week, we tragically lost our pick that we traded for in the
trade.
What is it? Karis LeVert trade for
damn you, Trae Young.
Ricky Rubio.
Yeah, Ricky Rubio, Karis LeVert, couple picks. So, originally the Cavs were, I believe, the 7th seed, and if it wasn't for the play-in tournament, we'd have that pick. They'd be the 7th seed. They'd be in the playoffs right now. But because of the play-in tournament, they lost their pick to the Atlanta Hawks, who were the 9th seed coming in. And, Atlanta beat Charlotte by around 30 points in play-in game number 1. And then Cleveland lost to Atlanta in a nail-biter in game number 2, where Trae Young had a fantastic, come-from-behind win. Everybody was doubting him, and he just came out and smoked them in the second half.
Yeah, it was. He started playing pretty awful, if I can remember. But then he just picked it up towards that second half, and he basically ended the Cavaliers postseason dreams, ended our pick dreams, which we're not tripping about because this draft isn't the greatest outside of the top 5 or so.
And we already have our top 5 pick.
Yeah, we already are projected to hopefully end up in the top 5 in terms of pick chances. So it doesn't really matter either way. I think isn't there like a possibility we get a pick from them next year or something?
Yeah, I believe it goes. If we don't get it this year, then if they make the playoffs next year, we get it. If they don't make the playoffs next year, then it's going to be a 2023, 2 second-round picks in 2023.
Yeah, so I mean the draft is definitely supposed to be better next year. I think we have who's isn't it Wembanyama
Victor
next year? Is that his
Wembanyama,
draft?
Imani Bates.
Yeah. It's actually funny. I was looking on Twitter earlier, and Sam Presti was talking to the media. I think they had like a media day or something today.
Oh, bro.
And he was talking about how he says that he doesn't plan to do anything different because he didn't say it directly, but they're obviously tanking for Wembanyama and all.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be another year of tanking. They're projected to have pick number 4 this year, I believe. So I think they're going to try to go for someone like Chet or Ivy, and then again for Victor Wembanyama because they're just stocking up on young talent. I know we're tanking, but we're not to that extent.
Oh no, yeah, their tanking is a war criminal kind of tanking.
It's even getting to the point. It's even getting to the point where people are complaining on Twitter about it being unethical. You've seen those tweets, right?
Yeah, it's just. I mean, I don't care either way. It's good for them. But like, I mean, and Shea is locked up, so do what you gotta do. But if I'm Shea, I'm like, you gotta start
When is
building
this gonna
around me
end?
eventually.
When is it gonna end?
Yeah, it's just like shameless tanking. Sitting players like 40 games into the season, and it's whatever. The NBA gods did not give them a pick last year, so hopefully same thing happens to them this year. But either way,
All right. And don't forget, they also have that Clippers pick because the Clippers didn't make the playoffs either.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
But
basketball.
talking about the play-in, I'm very happy that my team is not in the playoffs because I don't know if because I think you remember this 2020 playoffs, watching our short-handed team get like bulldozed in 4 games. That wasn't fun.
Oh yeah, that was not fun at all. I still don't know how dudes do it, man. Like, going through, like, I mean, we're gonna talk about it later, but like the Celtics game that just happened, like,
Yeah, I
going
could not
through what they
imagine
just went through
my team being in that situation.
for an entire series, man. It's just
Yeah.
like heart pumping. It's a lot, man.
Yeah, exactly, dude. But getting into the rest of the play-in tournament, I believe the Nets took the 7th seed and the Hawks took the 8th seed. And for the West, the 7th seed was taken by, I believe, who took the 7th seed?
In the West or the East?
In the West.
West, it was the Timberwolves.
Okay, yeah. In that game where Pat Bev was celebrating, yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen that. How they celebrated at the end of the game.
Oh yeah, Twitter had a field day with that. They were not happy.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like
Understandable.
It's like, let them celebrate, man. The Wolves haven't made the playoffs in a while. They made the playoffs in 2018, I think. But like, there have been a lot of narratives surrounding that team, so let them be happy.
Yeah, and I mean, they won their first game, so
yeah,
that's
they
not
did.
cause for celebration.
They did win their first game. So there's that. But
should be an interesting.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that series. And of course, the Pelicans won the 8th seed, which means we might be seeing Zion for the playoffs if they can extend the series, but I doubt it, honestly.
I doubt it. I think they got in 4 most likely.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna make it competitive.
After what I saw last night, Nikola Vucevic. No, is it Vucevic?
That's the wrong team.
Is it Vucevic? No, Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah. Jonas Valanciunas is the only guy. Jonas Valanciunas is the only guy to have 18 rebounds and a half and still be a clear negative.
Yeah, he was shooting like 4 for 17 at one point.
Yeah, he was god awful.
Just shame. I mean, both the dudes that I just mixed up with each other, Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah,
and,
we'll get to that.
Vucevic.
We'll get to the Bulls. Don't worry. I know you have a lot to talk about the Bulls. You were I saw the stuff you were texting me yesterday.
I didn't even watch the game. I just knew.
You texted me a picture of the stat sheet and you said a couple things.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's just get
to with the first game.
Yeah, let's get to the first game. So the first game, I believe, was Dallas versus Utah, which was, I believe, Saturday, and not really much to say there. Of course, Luka's still out with that. I think it's an ankle injury.
I don't even know what kind of injury it is. I just know that he's out for game 2 as well.
Yeah, he's out for game 2. They're saying like it's around like a couple weeks, so he might be back for like around the end of the series, but he might not be. So that series, I don't think it's gonna change. I think the Jazz are gonna take that, which is a damn shame because I mean we really wanted to see what Luka could do this playoffs if he could take them to like maybe a couple upset wins and maybe he could even take them all the way. But now that Luka's not there, they really don't have that much to combat the Jazz with, and I think it's gonna be Jazz in around 5 or 6.
I still have the Mavs. I think Luka comes back game 3 on a hobbled knee or ankle, whatever it is, I don't know. I still want to see. I think they dropped today's game, but no, I don't put any faith in Utah because they
Oh,
can
because
blow
Utah has
these like
experience with the yeah.
yeah, like and I kind of need them to go out in the first round. So
Uh,
go Dallas.
so you think they come back from 0-2?
I think it's a possibility. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah. I'm
saying
not. I'm not going
it's
to debate you
definite,
on that. I
but
definitely think it's a
I'm definitely
possibility.
not taking the. I'm definitely not like sound concrete saying the Jazz are winning the series. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Because you really can't say with that because the Jazz have done this for years now.
And they
All right,
continue
all
to do
right.
it, man. And even the game yesterday, like most of that game, the Jazz were leading because the Mavericks were leading because the Jazz didn't know how to game plan against them. And I mean, it's a pretty simple team to game plan against without Luca.
Especially without Luca. Yeah.
So
All
I
right.
mean, I doubt they get surprises tonight. I think they blow the Mavs out tonight
Yeah,
because
yeah,
now they know how
yeah,
the team
yeah.
functions.
I think they've had time to
But
adjust to a non-Luka game plan, and I don't. I think it's pretty predictable from there. Anyways, let's get to the next game. The next game was one of my favorite games in recent memory, which was Game One of the 2 versus 7 matchup of the Grizzlies versus the Timberwolves. That was a good game.
yeah, both 2 versus 7s in the West and the East.
Oh, we'll
Both
get
are
to the
very
other one.
promising
We'll get to
series.
the other one.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying like both were. I think those were the top 2 playoff games.
Oh, easily,
Honestly.
easily, absolutely,
Because
absolutely.
like the box score doesn't. I mean the ending score doesn't really talk about doesn't give you like the insight to how good Grizzlies Wolves was, but like the game was like fairly close most of
The
it.
game
I
was
mean, Ja
really
was
damn good,
amazing.
and it was going down to the wire. People, John Morant, and Anthony Edwards having that fantastic game. His coming out party in the playoffs.
Yeah, man. And
Carl,
I
yeah,
mean, Ja did the same thing last year
yeah,
with the Utah. He had those
yeah.
I think they went out in 5 last
Yeah, they
year.
won
But
one
I mean,
game. They won one game.
he had that string of games where he just like you knew that like he was gonna be something special the next year, and hopefully Ant does that this series. I still have the Grizzlies winning the series
Yeah,
overall.
same. I have them winning in round 6.
Yeah, because I really like that Grizzlies team, and I think that they'll adjust and they'll figure it out. And JJJ, he's got to play better.
Yeah,
Obviously,
he
and I
definitely
think
he
he'll play
definitely
better.
has to play better.
Like you see the blocks, and you're like, thanks for the blocks, but like on defense, I mean, he was there defensively, but you kind of want more from him, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Because he's not a terrible offensive player, but he played pretty bad
Yeah,
on
he
offense last
definitely
game.
needs to pick it up. And talking about players that needed to pick it up, Karl Anthony Towns. Of course, we were making jokes about how bad he was in the playing game, but he delivered for the playoffs.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, he heard the jokes, man. He did not want to hear it stick. He heard niggas talking about that they didn't like he was kissing all up on Jordan Woods, and so he said, "Well, I have a reason to be doing that." And he came out game 1, and he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was great. That was more of the Karl Anthony Towns we expected, and less of what we saw in the play-in game because that was horrendous. Shout out to him. He balled out. D'Angelo Russell didn't have a great game, but I think that was just he was deferring a little bit, so it's whatever. Pat Bev, of course,
Yeah,
having a nice game, showing people why he is who he is. But besides that, I mean, everybody was pretty. That was a really nice game. Dylan Brooks showed up for the Grizzlies and whatnot. But let's get to the
that's
third
my favorite
game,
one.
which was I believe Sixers versus Raptors.
Oh yeah, Sixers versus Raptors game 1. I mean, this was supposed to be a pretty promising series. I still think it has the potential to be a promising series. But like after game 1, you just kind of, I mean, the Raptors just kind of fell flat.
Yeah, I mean, I had people telling me that this series was the Raptors were winning this series before a game was even played. I'm all for upsets and stuff, but people were writing off the Sixers.
Yeah, I will not. Some weird people, man. That's some weird people for sure.
You're not going to speak on that, of
But I
course.
mean, no, I don't say anything on that. I mean, one of the things that you do got to give the Sixers credit for is they played Paul Reed, B-ball
Yeah, yeah,
Paul.
yeah. That was great.
Uh,
Doc
you
finally
know,
came to his senses.
yeah, and I mean, and Paul Reed was pretty good in the minutes that he did play. I mean, he didn't score the ball. He didn't score it a bunch, but he got one steal, one block, and like 10 minutes of play to even give Joel 10 minutes to rest, and then he plays the next 37. That's like honestly good enough,
Yeah, I mean that's good
especially in
enough
terms of
for
like injury.
yeah for backup center minutes. That's pretty good. Um,
Yeah, because like last year, it was really like I think they were trying to run small ball last year because Joel Joel was still getting injured because he was playing a bulk of the minutes last year. But hopefully this year, injuries are lessened without the need to play a bunch of minutes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And about another bench guy, Matisse Thybulle was not seen at all in Game One, and honestly, I don't think he's going to play at all in the series.
How many minutes did he play? He played 18 minutes.
He did.
Yeah, he played 18 minutes for them.
He played 18 minutes, not 3 points, 2 rebounds. Yeah, talking about Matisse Thybulle, let me segue into this. They don't need him in this series. I don't think they need him at all.
You don't think they need him?
Because they don't really because the Raptors don't really have a big perimeter guy that can torch them. Fred VanVleet, sure, but he can be handled by other guys. They don't really have a dynamic perimeter scorer for Matisse Thybulle to guard, and without that, as you know, he's basically unusable on the floor.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I definitely do think that he can play, but it's. Sorry, let me. Yeah, I mean, he played 18 minutes last game. There's not really a lot of Raptors perimeter depth that he needs to really defend. But I mean, he's one of their better players, so you might as well play him, even though his offense is pretty terrible.
Yeah, I mean, talking about he can't go to Toronto because he is not vaccinated. He revealed that earlier. So I don't think they should bother playing in this series anyway. If they advance, and they're probably going to face Miami if they advance, then maybe put him on Jimmy Butler or Kyle Lowry to try to disrupt the offense. But I wouldn't bother on it this series. And talking about something else that happened this series, Scotty Barnes, of course, went down with I believe an ankle injury, or was it a knee injury?
I don't even know what kind of injury. Or no, it was a knee injury. I saw him with the boot on.
Right, yeah, with the boot on, with the boot on. He's out for game 2, and they're probably gonna go down 0-2 again. They're about to play. I think did they start playing? Right now it's 7:30. So
Let me check. Scotty was pretty big for them that game, but it was pretty much a blowout. So
yeah,
not
exactly.
much you can really do there.
Let me see. The game is about to start. Yeah.
Monday. Yeah, the game's about to start.
The game is.
It should be interesting. Gary Trent Jr. flu game. Gary. He's supposed to be playing today. Thaddeus Young. I'm pretty sure he went down with some kind of injury, but he's playing today, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Going into the next game, which was, I believe, it was the last game of the night. What was that game? There was one last game played on Saturday, which I guess it must have been pretty insignificant for me to not remember.
Oh yeah, it was Warriors Nuggets.
Oh, the Warriors and Nuggets, the Jordan Poole game. Yes.
Yeah, maybe the one of the lesser first round series for a 3-6 matchup.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't a bad.
Kind of a snooze.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad game by any means, but it was just kind of underwhelming.
like if you're Nikola Jokic, you got to play better.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I know he's not playing with like the smartest people around him, but the way he played last game, like shooting wise, you just got to play better. I mean, Draymond is obviously one of the better defensive players in the league, but again, like you have to find your own offense, especially because you can't defer to your teammates like that if you actually want to win a game or two this series, which is
exactly
the only thing that I can't see them doing this series. I really don't see them pushing it past. I don't see them pushing it past. Like I don't see them winning 2 games a series. Like maybe 1 or 2, but I don't really see any 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I see it. I see it. I don't see the series being competitive at all without Murray and Michael Porter Jr., which we don't know when they're gonna come back. And Jamal's been injured since how long? Like sometime last year.
Been injured since like January, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like January of last year. So it's gonna be a while for it's probably gonna come back next season. And Murray and MPJ, I don't know how long it's been for him. So without him, that team is was that?
He played during the regular season for a little bit, but besides that, I mean, he basically got injured.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
30, 20 games into the season.
Yeah, exactly. Without them, I don't see this series going past 6 games, honestly. But that's enough about Saturday night's action. Let's get to Sunday. First game of Sunday was what game was that? Let's take a look.
First game Sunday was the Hawks game.
Oh, right, the Hawks and Heat game, which was pretty uneventful. I think we knew how that game was going to go down. It wasn't a secret to anybody. I mean, obviously, the Hawks, which were a 9th seed, they don't have John. I don't believe they don't have Clint Capella anymore because he got injured in the play-in game. So that was kind of a formality. You know, they lost by 24 points. Trae Young was held to like 1 of 9 shooting, I believe. And, you know, Jimmy did his thing.
Yeah, and
Bam didn't
that's
play
a really
great,
good defensive team.
Yeah, that's a fantastic defensive team. For them to hold Trae Young to that type of game, that's insane. But we're not going to dwell on that too much. I think the Heat easily had that series in like 5 games. Let's get to the next game, which was Nets and Celtics. We got a lot to talk about here.
Oh, yeah. One of the best game of the playoffs so far, man.
Not even
game,
so far.
Best game of a playoff game that I've seen. Best first-round game that I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I think it's the best first-round game I've seen, like, ever. Is basically the tension in there, the atmosphere, the play of the guys, you know, the trash talk before the series. You know, it all came together, and it was fantastic. Of course, we know about...
it was a back-and-forth affair.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we know about Kyrie Irving and his long-standing, you know, beef with Celtics fans about how, you know, he played for them and how they've treated him ever since. I mean, it's been pretty vulgar.
Mm-hmm. And he's talked about it, and you know he wants to bury the hatchet. I doubt the Celtics fans will bury the hatchet.
It won't happen. with
Joel
him,
Embiid and Gary Trent Jr. are fighting right now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they're scrapping right now on the court. I just tuned into the game, and they're scrapping right now.
Oh, we gotta finish this quickly. We gotta get to that game. But back to what we were talking about. I mean, the way Celtics fans have treated Kyrie, the way Kyrie's treated Celtics fans, there's no real higher power in that situation. Both of them are at fault. It honestly just reminds me of like a bitter divorce, really. Both of them can't. Neither of them.
He gave him 39, man.
He did, yeah. He gave him a 39, and that was a pretty intense 39 too. You know, flipping off the fans. You know, talking smack to the fans. He was into it. And of course, I mean,
but the game ultimately ended in the. I mean, Kevin Durant. Like if you're Kevin Durant, you're looking to play a lot better next game because he played terribly. He played terribly last game.
Yeah, Kevin Durant, Durant, he did not have the best shooting game at all.
And that was the Celtics' defensive scheme. Like, you can attribute it to that. I mean, Jason Tatum is a good defender. I think he was his primary. Not even. I don't think. I mean, they were playing. They were playing Al Horford on KD. They were putting a lot of different.
Yeah, they had a really nice strategy for Kevin Durant, and I mean, it worked. It definitely did work. So shout out to them, and shout out to Marcus Smart, who just won his first Defensive Player of the Year a few minutes ago. The first guard to win it since like 1996, I believe, and Gary Payton. Shout out to him. And, people are feeling some type of way about the Defensive Player of the Year award, where people think Rudy Gobert should win it or Mikal Bridges. I'm personally glad Gobert didn't win it. We needed other people. And Marcus Smart is really the guy to give it to.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus Smart deserved it. He was the. I think he was the. I mean, you could say that the best defensive player on that team was Rob Williams, but I mean, Smart was basically the heart of that defense. Like, you don't really have a defensive scheme without Marcus Smart, and he played exceptionally well this season. So.
Yeah, Marcus Smart was everything they wanted him to be and then some. So shout out to him, first Defensive Player of the Year, first for a guard in decades. So, of course, that's going to be some of his motivation going into the rest of the series. But, I mean, that game was absolutely amazing. And how did it end? Dom? What was the final?
Ended in KD and Kevin Durant just kind of giving up on defense. KD didn't know where he was going on the play. Celtics inbound the ball. JB drives it down the right hand side of the court. Kicks it out to Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart pump fakes. Two defenders jump at it. Passes it to Tatum. KD
spin move layup.
Going. Kyrie goes for the steal instead of trying to guard and Jason. Good job by Jason Tatum by actually doing a spin move.
Amazing instincts right there.
Straight up with it. Yeah. So, but yeah, Jason Tatum's spin move, it's in.
It's
no time
in.
left on the clock, and that's game. Basically,
yeah.
That was a good ass thing.
Amazing ending, amazing game. Jason Tatum hitting the game winner, kind of poetic, really poetic actually.
And they honestly just gave They honestly just gave the Nets like too many shots. Like, it's not like any particular player played bad. They just went a little cold, and then they started giving the Nets like too many shots, and the Nets took advantage. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Nets defense does need to be way better.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we could go on and on about this game. I mean, Bruce Brown, of course, some of the comments he had prior to the series getting started about Al Horford.
Wait, say that again?
Yeah, Bruce Brown, of course, him having some comments about Al Horford and how the Celtics would be without Robert Williams.
Yeah, he said that the paint would be food, and didn't look like food yesterday. So.
It did not look like food. Robert Williams was not Robert Williams, but Bruce Brown was terrible. There's no way around it. Bruce Brown only had 5 points, 1 rebound. He was not that great.
Yeah, he just be running. He's not the greatest offensive player out there.
Yeah, and I mean even on defense, Al Horford heard the slander and had 20 and 15. So shout out to Big Al. He was even dunking on guys. I haven't seen him do that in years. So I mean,
he was icing threes. He was everywhere.
Yeah, he was everywhere, man. But I think that should be enough about that game. We're definitely going to be coming back to that because the Boston Celtics and Nets series. If there's one series that I want to go to 7, it's that series. I need that to go to 7. You would never even think that was a 2 versus 7 matchup.
I need to go to 6. Honestly, I'm not ready. I'm not a fan of either team, but like, I'm not trying to handle all that distress in the first round. So,
really, okay. Imagine if this was us in the Celtics or in the Nets place, like the 2013 Pacers.
I would not be able to handle it at all.
No,
I'd still be in awe, like right now, like because of that. I mean, they won that game off a game winner.
Yeah, exactly. It was down to the wire to the very end. All right, let's continue onward because we could be here talking about that game all day. I think this is a part that you were waiting for the Bulls and the Bucks game. Please tell me how was the Bulls' big three of Vucevic, DeRozan, and Levine? Please tell me how did they perform?
Hey, poo triplets, man.
Who triplets?
Oh man, poo triplets, man.
If I can,
Vucevic, I mean, he was coming. The fact that both of these teams that this team ended in a close game, and also the fact that like they both ended with under 100 points is just disgusting. For the Bucks, especially because you got to
yeah,
take
that was
advantage of Nicole.
that was terrible basketball. I swear, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we look at the stat sheet,
Especially down the line. It was
yeah,
terrible.
for DeRozan, Vucevic, and Levine. Levine 6 of 18 from the field, 33%. Vucevic 9 of 27. He wasn't terrible, but 9 of 27 isn't great. And the piece de resistance, DeMar DeRozan 6 of 25 from the field, shooting 24% from the field. Man,
He's got. I mean, do you expect anything out of DeRozan at this point, or is it just like a natural
I mean,
occurrence? Like
yeah,
Robinson kind
I think it was a accepted fact that DeRozan wasn't going to be that great in the playoffs. He has a reputation, some of it deserved, and of course he hasn't really developed his 3-pointer. He's pretty easy to game plan against in the playoffs. He's not like a Jason Tatum where he's a 3-level scorer. So it was kind of predictable, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. I definitely did not expect it to be this bad, man.
hopefully he'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I need that. I need that playoff dropper narrative to stop.
yeah.
But I mean, if he continues this series like this, then it's. I mean, there's not much you can do there. It's like
It's game over. It's game over. But I mean, it is a positive if they lost that game the game was that close and all three guys weren't great. You know, maybe one of them or two of them can pick it up and they can make the series closer. But honestly, I think that series is over in 5, if not 6, if not 5. I think it's over in 5.
I really don't see them winning 2 games, honestly.
So you think it's over in 5?
I think it's over in 4.
Oh, you think they're gonna get swept?
Yeah, I mean, one of them is going to go off next game, probably like a Zach LaVine. But I just think that the Bucks are way too good to have a team like the Bulls win. I mean, maybe they do win a game, but I'd be disappointed if they did because that's how good of a team they are over this season.
Do you remember do you remember the Bulls record versus top 3 teams in conferences in the regular season?
Disgusting.
They didn't win a single game. Not one. That was terrible, man. All right. And we'll get to the final game of the 2-day stretch. Let's just get to it right now. The Pelicans and the Suns. And this was a piss break game.
Yeah, I'll let you do that one.
I barely even watched.
I did not watch it.
I barely watched because the Pelicans cut like a 20-point lead to 8 at one point, and I thought that was going to be interesting, but no, it was a blowout. Chris Paul, I think, had 20 and 10, so good for him. I know a lot of people don't like him.
27.
27?
Yeah, he had 27.
27 and 10? All right, yeah, he had the first 20 and 10 game of the playoffs. So I know a lot of people feel a certain way about him. I don't know if that includes you. But it was a pretty routine game for what you're gonna expect from a 1 seed versus a 9 seed. You know, it was just a blowout. Probably would have been closer. Maybe would have been swayed if Zion played, but he's probably not gonna play anytime soon. So that series isn't. Don't bank yourself on enjoying that series. That's the one series you guys can skip. And I mean.
Hey, man. First few minutes of the Sixers Raptors already started, and Joel's playing really nice right now. But
Yeah, Joel is going
5 fouls
hard
in
right
5
now.
minutes.
Oh man,
Five free throw shots in 5 minutes is interesting.
we're not starting that.
Silly.
Not on here, man.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying he went really hard for a layup, and they called it a foul. I don't think it should have been a foul.
Okay,
But
okay.
he's playing really good right now. That's it.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But that's about it. Pretty short episode, just over 30 minutes. But there's really not been that much to talk about. Indiana's not getting their pick. We're hopefully gonna get it next year. We're not gonna be talking about the Pacers for at least for at least like a couple months, right?
Yeah, that's what like a few. That's a lot of podcasts. That might be like 6, 7.
6, 7 pot. Yeah, but that's gonna be
I don't know.
that I don't know how we're gonna stretch it out. I think we're gonna have to. I think the length of episodes is gonna be around the 30-40 minute mark because right now we're at around 35 minutes and we've run out of things to talk about.
And
But
I think this season or next week will be better because this week has more, like more games. Like I think we're gonna be on like Boston Nets game like will be like game 4 by the time on like Sunday when we record. So
okay.
should be interesting.
But before we leave, we might also have a guest next week, of course. But before we leave, Dom, I need your quick thoughts on the Kyrie Celtics situation. Who do you think is in the right? Who do you think is in the wrong? And what do you think? What do you make of all this?
I mean, I understand where Boston's coming from. Kyrie, obviously, he said that he would leave the team. He ultimately did. He praises the Nets. I think the ship has kind of sailed with him and the Celtics. And I mean, I don't think anybody's in the wrong. I don't think anybody's in the right. I think I agree with what Kyrie said in the fact that they need to bury the hatchet and enough is enough. It's good for playoff basketball. First round series where the fans hate one of the players it's amazing basketball and it's amazing content. But besides that, I don't really care either way. I just think both of them are in the wrong and they should figure out what they're trying to figure out. But if they don't figure it out, then hey, it's good playoff basketball.
It's entertaining ball. It's entertaining basketball. I mean, I do understand where Kyrie's coming from, but I think he needs to stop poking the bear. He really does need to stop poking the bear because if he wants fans to stop heckling him, then flipping them off, mocking them is not gonna make them do that. You don't egg on people looking for attention. What was that?
Yeah, flipping them off behind your head. Cursing when you're practicing Ramadan.
When you're fasting,
and all these little, all these little things. I mean, you're a basketball player. It makes sense, but it's not going to get any better if you keep fighting it. So you just gotta let it go, man.
Just gotta ignore them, man.
Every player is gonna have a hostile set. I mean, what do you think? Trae Young, when he enters the Garden, everybody there hates him, dude.
Yeah, and now people are gonna hate him when he steps in Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't know if Cleveland's gonna develop that same kind of sentiment. I think Cleveland fans are a little bit, chiller.
Yeah, of course we know about Knicks fans. You know how
New York is very serious when it comes to basketball.
Oh, absolutely. But with that being said, 38 minutes in, I don't really have that much to add. What do you have?
Nothing. Turning into the Sixers game on right now.
Yeah, I'm about to get into that. We're about to leave the call real quick. Let me just finish recording. If you guys somehow decided to watch this podcast during the playoffs, we really appreciate you. We appreciate everybody that tunes in every week. Please, we're gonna start asking for questions again very soon, every Saturday afternoon, around 2-3 p.m. Eastern time. So go ahead and ask us questions if you want to. Both our Twitter accounts are going to be in the description. Besides that, we hope you enjoy the playoffs as much as we have, and we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Y'all take care now.